Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Fanside on RaceCanada.world. Myself, Cam K, and Graydon Bunn. We are excited. Okay, this is an up and coming driver for 22 Racing. He's got a famous last name, a famous father. Now he's ready to turn the famous father into the famous son. That's Kyle Steckly is on the show. Welcome, Kyle.
Thanks for having me on. I'm excited to talk with you guys and chat over the next half hour and have some fun.
That's what we want, Graydon. I'm going to let you start it off. You've got the relationship with the Steckleys. They're your race team, your guys. So let's let you lead it off for our episode with Kyle Steckly.
Yeah, as Cam said, we're excited to have you on. It's been kind of a fun day watching kind of our promotion of this blow up a little bit and see it reach out to some people. So yeah, I mean, my boys have been fans of your dad for as long as they've watched the Pinty Series racing, but it's been about 6 years that we've been taking them to the track. So it's kind of evolved into rooting for all the 22 racing cars, and now with you and your mini stock. So can you talk a little bit about what you drive and what it's like, where you race, a little bit of the specs of the car?
So this past year I raced a 4-cylinder mini stock. It's a 1988 Ford Mustang. Got about 170 horsepower. I race mainly at Flamborough Speedway, Sunset Speedway, Sauble Speedway, around Southern Ontario. And yeah.
Well,
Nice.
First off, I love the look. As soon as I saw that little 24 with the Qwick on the front of it, I'm like, okay, that's badass. Like, first off, the car, of course, going 170, you said 170 on a short track. You're racing against guys that have done this forever. Is there a little bit of intimidation going into the racetrack, and you've got these big veterans that are out there? Is it a little scary going on the track with them?
Well, maybe a little bit when I'm at the track, but once I strap into the car and I'm out on the track, everything kind of just goes away and I just do my job and have fun.
So this year obviously it was kind of a freak year in terms of schedule and stuff, but you got to race a little bit. What did you do this summer? I know you got to see Victory Lane.
Yeah, well, we went to Grand Bend one night and we had some success there, won both the features. That was our first race of the year. Then we headed up to Flamborough Speedway for a few invitationals. The first race, I was in the lead, but unfortunately we had a mechanical issue and I had to pull off about halfway through, which was definitely a heartbreaker since I was in the lead, beating some of the top competition in that class. But we got everything fixed and we came out the next race and we got it done and won. So that felt really good to do that. And then the next race I came out, I think this was the final one in the mini stock, and I had some tough competition in J.R. Fitzpatrick, who raced for my dad this year. So
Yeah.
that was really, really fun to race against him, and I ended up third that night, which was still a good night. And yeah, it was really fun racing with competition like that.
It must be something exciting because this is a guy who used to race against your dad, and it wasn't that JR was a bad driver. I'm just saying, he had to go up against your dad during those championship years, and that was pretty tough. Is there any advice that you can give to somebody that's just starting out, because you are so young starting in racing? A lot of people, I guess they would think, 16, 15, it's too young to go driving on a racetrack. What would you say to somebody that says that's too young?
You're never too young to start racing. You get out in a go-kart, get out in quarter midget, whatever you have close to you, get out and go drive and race. It's in a lower budget class and just have some fun and see what you think about it. And the main thing's just have fun. And if you like it, enjoy it, you just keep racing and keep moving on and meet people and just keep growing and keep doing what you love.
That's kind of what I identify. I mean, we're not exactly in a racing hotbed in Muskoka, but I have that same mentality and the same experience in terms of equipment operation. The best way to learn is to jump in the seat and just feel it. And yeah, I was 11 years old when I started running a backhoe, so it's kind of the same thing, right? Like you just get in the seat, and you can only tell someone verbally how to do something so long, right? Before you just actually have to feel it and do it yourself. So that's when people ask me how long I've been running it, I say since I've been too young to run it. So you're kind of the same, right? You just you get in something or get on something, and the best way to do it is just to feel her out.
Yep.
In a safe way, of course. We got to preface that, or
Yes.
I guess we're not prefacing it now because we're saying it after the fact, but in a safe way.
What's the goal, Kyle, for 2021? Obviously, it's not going to be we're going to jump into the Cup Series next week, but what's the goal for 2021?
For 2021, I think our plan is probably to run late models. I made a late model start at the end of the year, so we'll see. We'll probably run mainly at Flamborough. That's where I ran mostly at with the mini stock. So we'll run there and see how it goes, and who knows, we might make an APC start through closer to the end of the season, but we'll mainly run Flamborough and just learn in that car. There's a lot more horsepower. The tires are a lot different. Everything's a lot different about that car, so next year will definitely be a learning curve.
You guys have a good little relationship with Qwick. You guys sent me a bunch of that. This is just a display purpose now. We've used them all, and I've topped up since our home hardware in town has a great little display with the Pinty Series and the Whelen Euro Series logo on it. And the home hardware, it's in a different location now than it was when I was a kid. But our town had rolls of like the Don Thompson Jr. posters to give away, and it reminds me of that. It's reminiscent. It's kind of cool that that kind of stuff. There's a bit of activation in the stores. Anyway, that said, will Qwick be with you in 2021 too?
Yeah, I think that they'll be with me in 2021 as well. We're just kind of finalizing our plans yet, but hopefully they can be back on the hood of the late model for 2021.
Nice.
I mean, I'm just saying the Qwick belt that we saw in the Pinty Series, Kyle Steckly. I mean, it seems like a match. I'm just saying, you come around walking around the racetrack with the Qwick belt on your shoulder, all of a sudden,
swagger.
Yeah, no one's gonna mess with you on the track. You know, we've gotten a little bit used to watching some of these races that maybe weren't broadcast in the past. G-Force TV certainly gave me an opportunity to see you run, and because fans weren't able to get out to the track. But I gotta ask, as a young driver, is it weird to interact with people that want your autograph and want pictures with you? Because I would imagine being in high school, you want to kind of do your own thing, but now all of a sudden you got people coming up to you. You got two weirdos trying to interview you,
It's definitely different when you're at the track and there's these little kids coming up to you and they want your autograph or they want something signed, because it feels like not that long ago that was me going around to the Pinty's races with my dad, getting every single hero card, and getting everybody to autograph my shirt. So it's definitely weird with the roles reversed, but I'm definitely happy to see all the fans out at the track.
I do that, and I'm 39, so but well, I use my kids as the excuse. But anyway, yeah. So if you're gonna make some more late model starts, what are you gonna carry on with the mini stock? Are you gonna do some double dipping next year, or are you just gonna kind of keep your focus on one discipline? What's the plan that way?
Well, the cars are a lot different, so
Yeah.
we're gonna stick to late model, and we have actually sold the mini stock already to somebody else. So
wow, right on.
Yeah, so Phil Bullen bought it, and he'll be racing it at Sunset
Oh, nice.
Speedway. So it'll still be out on the track next year.
Cool. It's nice that like that economy, like the business to business kind of things with the other race team, the cars see another life somewhere else, and as like you move on with your career, and so do other drivers.
Yep.
It's very interesting because as we are Canadians, everybody knows the normal track that, you know, no pun intended, that kids in Canada go, and it's not the route of racing. Now, obviously, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this, but obviously, hockey's been a route for you too. Where did the decision come from? Obviously, your dad was a racer, but there's a lot of kids who have family members that raced. When was it, I want to do that? Was it when you're a little kid, or is it a decision that you made more recently?
Well, I kind of always thought it was cool going around to the track, and then when I was maybe 6.5, my dad started thinking was showing me some cars, and I thought that was really cool, and I really wanted to do that. But really, only in the past few years is when I've like really this is something I want to do the rest of my life and make it a career. So in the last few years is when I really decided like this is what I want to do for my career, and hopefully I can make that happen.
Hopefully, we're supporting you all the way, buddy.
Speaking of support too, you've got the relationship with Laps for MD as well. Talk about that, how that kind of connected. We're big fans, by the way, of that.
Yes, big fans.
We joined with them at the start of the year, and then Qwick heard about this, and he really liked what they were doing for muscular dystrophy, and then he decided he will double whatever I donate to Laps for MD, and he will do the same amount.
Fantastic.
Oh, that's a great campaign. Yeah, for sure.
So we've got to ask Kyle, 2020 season, Chase Elliott wins. I mean, me and Graydon had our picks out there. We were completely wrong, but I guess I'm going to ask, what did you think about racing this year as a fellow racer yourself with what NASCAR was able to put on this year?
Yeah, it was definitely different being at the track myself. With normally the track is full in the pits, right, full, and that people are coming up to you, and there's people in the stands, and you know your friends from around town can go to the track and watch you. So it was definitely different me racing myself, but I thought it was really good what they could do in the States in the Cup Series to get some fans at the track and complete the whole season, which I thought was really good for them, that they didn't have to skip half the races or anything like that. They still got the full season, and yeah, I was really happy with how the results went in the race on Sunday. So
yeah, that worked out pretty nicely for Chase. He got hot at the right time. That's the way you do it in these this format. In terms of all this COVID stuff, we had to adapt, and we even got to see a little bit of Pinty's eye racing, and you got to run your dad's colors. Do you eye race often? Is that like, do you do it now? Yeah, what's your eye racing itinerary?
yeah, well, I go on iRacing quite a bit. I have some buddies that I go on there with, and I'm on it maybe a bit more than I should be, but I go on probably 3 or 4.
No such thing. No such thing.
I go on probably 3 or 4 times a week, and I like racing super late models and short track stuff and modifieds. I find that really fun. But yeah, it was really cool to do that Pinty's deal on TSN and race with all the big league guys, and compete. I ended up fourth or fifth in that race, so it was pretty cool to do that.
Yeah.
CMP where I've been to multiple times, and yeah, it was a fun deal.
It's got to be kind of surreal to kind of go back in time and drive the colors of that your dad drove for many years. Obviously, growing up, dad's a racer. what's the earliest? Because I know there's probably some stuff that you can't remember at all, but what is the earliest thing that you can remember from the racetrack with your dad? Is it a championship?
Well, I can remember maybe a tiny bit from the 2013 championship, but not much. But I really remember in 2015 I went to St. Eustache with my dad, and I really remember I really wanted to help out with the crew, but I did a few things, but I didn't do a whole lot because I was only 10 yet then. But then I also remember the 2015 at Kawartha for the championship, and that I remember quite a bit of that, and that was a really cool experience.
It's funny how, like, yeah, how little my kids were in 2015. I remember seeing you there, like, how just like a few years the kids could. I'm sorry, I sound like a dusty old fart when I say this stuff.
You are.
Yeah, I'm a young 39, but yeah, seeing how you've kind of increased, like helping out with the team, and when you were kind of helping out with the 24 car there in 2019, I saw you at Jacasa there too. Like you work on your own stuff, and your dad's passed that on to you. That'll be the same with the late model and everything, I guess too. Like you do pretty much everything. You don't have a lot of people that work on the car with you too, right?
No, it's me and my dad do a lot of the work. We have a few crew guys who come in nights and come to my races that are on my dad's crew that come in and help with me, and that's really a big help, and I can't thank them enough. But me and my dad do a lot of work by ourselves at the shop, and I really enjoy that because I get to learn about how these cars work and how to work on cars and what to do, and I'm really learning a lot in the past few years on about race cars and how to set up race cars and how they handle on the track. So I really enjoyed it.
Kind of seeing like as I mean, we see him at race events, but I mean, for the last few years when we see your dad, he seems like he would be a very good teacher, very passive and very hands-on. This is how you do this, and keep a pretty calm, cool head, and that's got to be awesome learning from somebody that's obviously that knows his way around driving, building, setting up, all of the above with a race car. And he's your old man. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's definitely very nice. He definitely has taught me everything I know, and if I'm out there, he's always telling me what I can do better and how I can do this and that to pass cars or just simply go faster on the track. But yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun learning from him, and he's always been a great teacher, and yeah, it's going good.
Yeah, it's cool to see it just over the years.
It's got to be cool to say you're going into 2021. You're going to drive. You're going to drive. I have to ask. For me, watching Cascar and then the Penny Series, seeing your dad race all those years, I can't imagine going in and being able to race some of the people that he raced against. So I got to ask you, there's a lot of names out there. What's one guy out there that your dad raced against that you really not just want to race against, but you want to beat on the racetrack? That's a tough one.
That's a good question.
I don't know.
The answer is DJ Kennington, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he was a good competitor of my dad's over the years, but one guy, he's changed, but when that dad raced, we didn't necessarily like Andrew Ranger very much. He almost won his first road course race at CTMP in 2015. I remember that.
Yep, that was a
yes.
One. Accident on the last corner, so that'd be one guy that I would like to beat. But really, they're all good competitors, and they'd always all be fun to race against. But yeah, hopefully I get to race against those guys one day.
That was the first time I seen your old man that mad before. That was pretty cool.
That was the first race that both my boys came to, and that was like the monster truck and car, the wheel over wheel thing. They were just like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, it was crazy.
So going into 2021, Kyle, there's a lot of changes that are taking place in NASCAR in general. You're running super late models or late models next year on the short tracks in Ontario. Let's go forward a bit. You have the opportunity to race at one of the bigger tracks in NASCAR. Which one are you going to? Number one, that you, if at fantasy track, let's say the super late models get to run on a NASCAR track next week. Which one are you going to?
Does it have to be like a 1.5 mile, or can it be like a half mile?
Anyone you want.
Oh, that's a hard question.
Aha. Maybe just throw out a couple.
In my late model, I would go probably to Bristol, because they do go there because they have such high banks, and I have heard, I don't know if this is true, that they can go wide open around that track. So I think that'd be pretty wild.
Yeah.
But if I got to run a cup car, I think I'd probably want to go to Phoenix, just because it seems so cool. Like, the restarts get so wild, and there's so many grooves you can run in these past years. I think that'd be a really cool and unique track to run on.
It's a good choice.
Yeah, that's a real good choice. A good,
especially with the new configuration.
Yeah.
Like you said, the restarts are just insane.
Well, not like many tracks that you can just turn left and drive straight into the infield, right?
Yeah.
That's not something that you get an opportunity to do. So, so then we'll take it and we'll reverse that question. I'm just going to build up on this one, Graydon. But Pinty Series, you've obviously seen a lot of those tracks. What's a track that you're dying to go to?
Well, unfortunately, this track isn't on the schedule anymore, but my dad, when he raced there, he always loved Riverside. He said it was an amazing track, the best track they ever went to for years, and just an amazing facility. And I always wanted to go one year with my dad out there, and I never got to, but I would love to run there. So that'd be one place I would love to run.
That's a stinger, and I honestly hope that comes back on the schedule. For whatever reason that it isn't now. We were actually tentatively planning on going out there for a road trip this summer. At the time the Pinty Series was out there, then the schedule came out, and we're like, oh, that's not going to work. And then, as you know, the whole pandemic thing happened, so it completely derailed it. But totally agree. That's such a great track.
Yeah.
Well, we're almost approaching the end of our time here, Kyle. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw out a pick, okay? It's a Kyle Steckly pick'em. What we're hoping to do, Kyle, next year is we're hoping to get some racing people involved with Fanside to have some predictions week to week and run a pool and see who wins. It can't be money, because that ain't gonna work for me. I don't have nearly enough of that. So what we would say, it would be technically bragging rights to win the Fanside Trophy of the year, but we'll start before we even go ahead with the picks. Who wins the 2021 championship? I know it's a big loaded question in your mind. Who's winning it?
And the Pinty Series or the Cup Series?
We're going Cup Series.
That's a tough question.
You hear that? Graydon, 3 in a row, baby. 3 in a row.
I think I'm gonna say.
So I said Joey Logano. I don't know what Graydon said, but
I think it's gonna be a Chevy. I just feel they're getting better.
Oh,
And Hendrick's got a good lineup for 2021. I don't know if Chase can go back to back, and I don't know if Larson can win in his first year, but those would both they both could do really well. But I think I'm gonna go with. I'll go with Alex Bowman. I think he's gonna do really good this year.
Well,
there you go.
How that works. I like it. That'd be a great pick. That'd be a great story. kind of coming out of where he was running and to get a cup ride and then to win a championship. That would be awesome. That's a great pick. Wow.
I think Hendrick's going to be a good story right out of the box. I mean, they're kind of rebranding and shaking things up, and Kyle Larson's kind of on a career rebirth. So there'll be lots of good things coming out, and see if your boy Chase there can defend.
Yeah.
And hopefully he won't be the only Kyle that does end up getting some victories next year. Kyle Steckly, guys, on the podcast fan side. Kyle, we want to give you a moment to thank your sponsors, the people that have been able to get you to the racetrack, and also how people can follow you, if it's on social media, if it's through the racing, what schedules they can look out for.
Yeah, I'll start off with my social medias here quick. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Kyle_Steckly, nice and simple. Just got to thank all my crew members that helped me at the shop, at the track, everybody who helped me, my mom and my dad. I got to thank Wick Fire Starters, AW Millwright, Food Town, Milverton, Remax, Jim Bowman, Jim Bray, Trucks and Trailers for Sale. What else did I got? Ironbridge Fabrication, Schmidt Logging, Lift Solutions, Phoenix Electric. Got one more. Okay, I know I got one more. Oh, Triple B Spring. Yeah.
There you go.
That was beautiful.
Man,
beautiful.
That's a list.
How about those Canadian companies? You got to market this kid. This kid knows what he's doing. He's got the market. He's got the talent. We know he's got the Steckly name. So I threw it out there with a fictional couple months back. Nestle, come on. You got a kid. You got candy. Perfect combination. Graydon, final words for Mr. Kyle Steckly.
Well, I just want to, on behalf of my boys, they've been super excited all day long. Told their friends at school they were doing this tonight, and so on behalf of them, just want to say thanks, Kyle, for coming on with this, and me too. It's been cool just seeing how you've grown into your driving role over the years, and we'll see you at the track hopefully next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you guys for putting this on. I had lots of fun talking with you.
Well, we hope to get you on once again, maybe for some picks next year. Hopefully you won't school us. We want to be the winners at the end. But everybody, thanks Kyle Steckly for coming aboard the Fanside train. Check it out, racecanada.world, racecanada.ca. You can check out all of our podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, and on YouTube, this YouTube video. Of course, check the description. There will be a link to 22 Racing Laps for MD. And maybe we'll put Kyle Steckly's social media on there. And maybe kind of, I don't know. Maybe I should put mine down there before him. But all right. That's it for the show. Thanks, everybody.